That would make me... I would revert back to being 13 again and reading Twilight and being like, this is so unfair that this girl got 2 hot men. She gets to make out with both of them? No, I'm literally obsessed.
Hey, besties! Welcome to Literally Obsessed. It's Cassie.
And Brittany.
Period. Welcome back, besties. How are we doing today? Hope you guys are having a great day so far.
Yes.
Do you like the matching t-shirts? To our viewers out there? If you are just listening to this, we are wearing our new Renaissance Fair t-shirts. Have a lot of dragons. It's very fitting.
It says Ren Fair. Oh, Renaissance Fair. Renaissance Pleasure Fair.
Yes. Shout out to the Irwindale Dam.
No, the Santa Fe Dam.
Oh, Santa Fe.
Santa Fe
Recreational Dam area for hosting the Ren Fair that we recently just went to. Thanks for allowing us to come. So much fun. We had such a blast. We literally went the other day.
We got some rings.
We saw a lot of people dressed up. A couple leathers out there. I don't know, we never talked about that, but I saw a lot of people wearing like leather vibes.
I didn't see any
there was no
Zayden's, violets. Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of dragons everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Hope you're enjoying our t-shirts. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
Besties.
We are
almost done.
We're almost done with Fourth Wing. So
God.
That's a little crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Today we're talking about chapters 31 through 35. So much happening, but we're going to power through, and I think we have only 2 more left of Fourth
We have
Wing.
1 more after this.
One more. I forget that Fourth Wing is not much smaller, but it feels smaller than Iron Flame.
Yeah.
By a couple chapters.
I think we underestimated
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So
it's okay. It's fine.
It's fine.
We just have to deal with our losses here. Beautiful. First, let's start with a little disclaimer. A little spoiler disclaimer to all you ladies and gents out there. We will be talking about everything from Fourth Wing to the end of Iron Flame, and spoilers, theories, anything that we've seen from the internet and from ourselves. So if you have not read all of the Empyrean series or have been caught up with it, spoiler warning ahead. We also do talk about a lot of smut scenes, a lot of sexy scenes. So if you are not of age of 18, please log out of here.
Let's get into it.
Jump. Okay.
Today we are covering chapters 31 through 35. And we're getting there, y'all. I gotta pull up. Sorry, I actually was not prepared. I need to pull up my outline.
How unprofessional.
So unprofessional of me.
While we're doing that, there is no update so far of Onyx Storm. We haven't gotten anything yet from today, which is April 25th. So nothing has happened just yet. We're still awaiting the cover of it. Rebecca, if you want to send it to Brittany and I to kind of do an executive review, let us know. We'll give you some thoughts. Yeah, unfortunately nothing just yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's dive into our
31.
synopsis. Chapter 31.
Right after chapter 30.
So we pick back up with Xaden coming into Violet's room to help her clean up after the gigantic mess that they made.
More ambush.
Violet ends up finding a letter from her dad in her book of fables that Mira kept for her. It's a pretty cryptic message about how one generation can just swipe a bunch of history, and that he knows that she'll make the right decision when the time comes. So she's like, that's a creepy message. And her and Xaden kind of talk about the fables in her books, because she's like, why would my dad put it in this book of all books? And they talk about the stories of Venin and Wyvern, and kind of how they were like children's bedtime stories for a lot of them. I think Xaden even says his dad would tell him that if he didn't eat his vegetables, venin would come to kill him. So they have vegetables.
They have gardens and soil and fertilizer. But it's funny because they also have fables. They have little stories, like little lullabies.
Yeah.
Just like us, guys.
They're just like us.
We can't get into that yet.
No, sorry. We have to speed up the we have a bad reputation of going too slow through our synopsis.
Yes.
Sorry,
anyways,
we'll speed through.
Xaden just keeps on reminding Violet to not fall for him despite what he keeps doing. So in that conversation, they had just agreed to just remain friends for the moment, and she kicks him out since he won't admit that he's falling for her. And then we get to Reunification Day, which it's also the anniversary of Brennan's death. So 6 years from that. During that part, we're starting to see Violet get a little insecure and a little anxious. So she asks Xaden if there is someone else. And I believe she thinks that it's Imogen. Which, anyways, not to get into that. So the gang, they all head to the party, the ball for Reunification Day. They all look stellar. It looks great. And then Violet kind of already is starting to realize of what this day is about, because she is told, I forgot from who tells her about Reunification Day and what it means.
Well, she knows what it means, but
does it not settle for her?
She knows what it means. I think that now that she's friends with a lot of marked ones, that's kind of when she's realizing this is celebrating their parents' death.
Yeah. So. And then she tries to send Liam away from her, but he stays like a loyal friend. After that, Dane kind of helps Violet and Liam sneak out of the party. And then we end chapter 31 with Violet and Liam wandering out to the courtyard before Violet gets rid of him and goes to find Xaden on the parapet. Just sitting there.
Chapter 32. Violet admits to herself that she's in love with Xaden, so she goes out on the parapet to walk toward him. Violet calls Xaden out because he obviously does have feelings for her, and she calls out all the things that he does that shows that he cares about her. So she also pieces together that Imogen actually had feelings for Garrick and not Xaden. And I would love to see them together, but anyway.
Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah. Xaden finally admits that he would like to give them a shot, and Violet literally talks him off the edge.
And then they go to Xaden's bedroom. But they are interrupted by Garrick, and they're under attack. Gosh, it happened so quickly.
Chapter 33. The riders are all rushing out to the courtyard because they think that they're under attack, and they find out they're not actually under attack. It's just the final event of the war games. They are given a scenario from Colonel Atos and given orders. The cadets have about 30 minutes to change and grab whatever they can carry for a 5-day exercise.
Crazy. And Darna shows off her new harness that will keep her strapped to Terran for the rest of the flight. And guess who made it? Xaden. Zaddy. Xaden also orders that Violet, Imogen, and Liam are on his squad you're going to have to take it away. Thank you.
I got you.
I'm done trying to say words that I don't know how to pronounce, because I say them in here, but I don't think that's how they should sound. Xaden and Dane are arguing again, of course, of whether or not Violet can be on his team or not. And then during that, Dane realizes that there is something between Violet and Xaden. While that's happening, Dane tells Violet that he'll miss her, and then he leaves.
Violet realizes that she has to choose between Xaden and Dane, who are like the most important men in her life, and she chooses Xaden, and her life is about to change forever. Chapter 34. The squad has been flying for 7 hours, and they are now outside the wards. They're approaching Athbean, and they stop at a lake close to the outpost so that the dragons can get a drink of water. Liam then warns Violet that she has gotten herself way in over her head with Mr. Xaden, and that he knows where Xaden's priorities lie.
Xaden holds Violet's hand in public and lets her know that he trusts everyone there with his life. We also have Xaden giving Violet a massage, and they talk in private. As they're talking in private, they get interrupted for the second time. Everyone's cock blocking them, but this time it's by the Griffin Riders. Crazy. Violet is the only one ready to fight these Griffin Riders, and Xaden asks her to trust him. Xaden turns to the Riders and says, "Well, you're fucking early."
Chapter 35, Xaden tells the Griffin Riders that they're early for the shipment, and Violet realizes they're working together. The Griffin Riders let them know that they came to warn them that venin attacked a village that's within the vicinity 2 days ago, and Violet is shocked to learn that venin are real, and that she's the only one that's shocked about this. Violet pieces together that they're all marked ones besides her, and she starts to get a little bit worried. And then everyone leaves so Xaden can explain everything to Violet.
Everything to Violet. He explains that they've been sneaking out weapons for the Flyers to fight off the venin, and that venin are indeed real. Xaden tells Violet that Navarre knows that
Poor Emil.
Thank you. Is being attacked, and they aren't doing anything about it because the only thing that kills venin is what powers the wards. Violet thinks that Xaden stole her mom's dagger, but he tells her she probably has one to defend against venin anyways. Xaden assures her that he's never lied to her despite the secrets. Xaden also tells her that he couldn't say anything to her because if Dane sees the memories, then everything is lost for what they worked for. Violet tells Xaden that she believes him about everything but doesn't trust him. Violet pieces together that her dad gave her a forbidden book, and one of the quotes that was in it was, this is the one from inside the book, right?
Yeah, this is from her right? Her dad's note.
Yeah, and it says, "It only takes one desperate generation to change history, even erase it." Powerful.
The gang arrives at Athbean, and it's completely empty. Xaden realizes that Dane has actually been taking Violet's memories this entire time and knows that Xaden and the other marked ones have been sneaking away to Athbean to deliver the weapons. Garrick finds an envelope addressed to Xaden, and it's a missive that says to survive if they can from Colonel Atos. Xaden says, "This isn't your fault, but we've been sent here to die."
And that ends up chapter 35.
All right. Lot happened in these chapters.
Why am I anxious? I know what happens.
I know. Next episode's really where we get into it.
So much happens in this one.
Yeah.
It's like go.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay.
Let's just get into it.
Let's start back at chapter 31. Dive into some of our favorite moments, and let's just deep dive in.
All right. So they're in denial. Xaden is in denial at this point to her face. I think because at the very end of chapter 30, before Violet went with Professor Carr to practice, he gave her the flowers. But coming back to help her clean up the room.
I know.
Are you?
Well, I think though also, I think he was coming back for round 2.
I think so
it wasn't all nice.
Calculated.
Yeah, because she was like, "All right, like, are you gonna help me clean up or something?" And he's like, "I have a better idea of what we could do." Xaden, stop it. Cheeky.
No, cheeky. So cheeky. And I think what ruins that moment too is when her dad's note falls out. And he's like, "Oh."
It's like, "Oh shit."
Kind of ruins the mood.
Yeah. Well, she also was like,
she's like, "No."
But nice try, Xaden.
Good attempt.
Yeah.
I feel like you had some pretty good ones at the beginning, so take it away, Brittany.
Oh, just wanted to bring up Xaden sharing like the stories that his dad told him, which we kind of addressed, but saying things like his dad would tell him about, if you don't eat your vegetables, like a venin's gonna come get you. But I'm also curious if that is the truth, or, well, I guess it could be the truth, but it could also be that he did know venin were alive. I don't know.
I feel like the story of venin that has been shown to us of what they were told as kids is like, it's a fable of a sort, but I'm trying to connect to like what is stuff that we would be told that as kids but is actually like real.
Okay, well, I thought about that.
What's our own
No,
conspiracies?
because I actually thought about this, and I was like, truly, I'm a believer of everything.
No, me too, unfortunately.
So I think I'm like, yeah, Bigfoot, he's real.
Real.
Loch Ness Monster,
Chupacabra,
she's real.
real.
I think I have one, actually. My dog kind of looks like a chupacabra. But
mermaids, real.
Mermaids are so real.
I've seen it on Discovery on National Geographic.
I watched the documentary, guys. So I feel like I don't know.
Well, I think all stories come from truth. All fables come from truth.
Dragons are also real. Don't even get me started. But
don't, because if we can figure out dinosaurs,
I just think, yes,
dragons were a part of that.
If these things are like written and like, let's say Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
How did somebody in like California and then in like across the country and then somewhere else, like a different country, how come they all saw the same thing?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and different cultures have different interpretations of the same fable.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to remember is that mermaids were, sought because they thought sailors were too drunk and they were blind, that they saw manatees and thought that those were women because they were so plastered.
Sexist.
Crazy. And also I saw everyone was like, well, everyone remember how like glasses weren't invented until like last 400 500 years, so people were just blind and like not being able to see, so mythical creatures could have been more or less of what we thought. So, but like I said, everything has a little bit of truth in it. So if we're talking about venin, I think that even if people didn't really believe that they were real, some kind of power or being had to have like influenced it.
Definitely.
So I think that he thought
Probably
that
knew.
it could have been real.
Yeah. No, I agree.
To bounce off of that note, I do just say that I really do love how Xaden starts to just like open up to her, but in slow, very partial ways. And I feel like he wouldn't be showing anything about his past, like about his dad or about what has happened to him with the marks and everything. Like he wouldn't be telling anyone that.
Oh yeah.
Which I think it's just so cute. Because he's just like such a traumatized little baby.
No, he really is like a little baby.
He's so cute. But when he was talking about his dad, and like it just made him feel more real.
Yeah.
Because like even though he had a shitty childhood, he still had like, hey, if you don't eat your vegetables, then the monster's gonna get you. Yeah. Like, I love it.
Oh, I actually don't exactly know why I wrote this down. It must have been for some sort of discussion. Xaden telling Violet that she doesn't know him at his core. Oh, I think I wrote that down because I think I was thinking of like intrinsic and how she doesn't. There's so many secrets, I guess, at this point that she doesn't know. I also wrote down the line from him, I have absolutely no intention of falling for you, Soaring Gale. And it just breaks my heart.
He was denying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me thinks, okay, the more I think about it, because we've brought up this topic a lot about how he just keeps saying, like, you don't want to fall in love with me. You don't want to do this. I'm not the sweet guy you think. It was obviously him, like, trying to protect her and trying to protect himself, because we don't know how he has been with other people.
Right.
But
I don't think he's had a girlfriend. Well, actually, sorry. He has had
a girlfriend. We find her later, but
they didn't really like each other.
It was just a more forced.
Yeah, so I don't think he's ever really had a relationship.
And I also think it's good to remember, like, he needs to protect her and needs to be there for her because his life depends on it as well and what he's worked for. So I think he was also trying to not let her fall so quickly and without knowing all of his intrinsic and what he's been doing with the Griffin Riders and like how he knows about her like all of these secrets, huge secrets. She doesn't know that full capacity of him, which was like at his core. So it makes me think, I'm like, I think he's valid, and I think Violet's just annoying.
No, I really am Team Xaden.
I am
for
Team
these two
Xaden.
books. I'm Team Xaden. Because sorry, Violet.
I mean, the same thing. If there was something that I was trying to withhold, but it was because of like I don't want you to be in danger. I would want my partner to see the reason why.
Oh, yeah.
But I get it. Communication's key. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't communicate very well. Violet does not communicate.
Violet doesn't, but then blames Xaden for his miscommunication.
I actually, one of my friends today was saying that they have 100 pages left in Iron Flame.
Oof.
And I was like, how are you liking it? She was like, Violet's so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, why won't she just, like, everything Xaden's saying is so valid. And I was like, yeah, it took my reread to, like, fully understand how annoying she was. Mm-hmm. But I was like, she makes me agree with a man. I don't want to.
I don't want to.
But
that's how you know it's fiction.
So I'll always agree with anything Xaden does.
Yeah, I agree.
Xaden could like he could like kill innocent people.
And I'd be like,
that's kind of hot.
He's valid. He's so valid for killing hundreds. It's
killing
okay.
Children.
Mama, I'm in love with the criminal. Like that's my theme song for him.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know. I hate the way she's always like competing his words to what she thinks he means, and I'm like, girl, he's right. You don't know everything about him, so why are you gonna sit here and say he means this? Girl, you don't even know what he's thinking.
But also, like, they've only known each other for a couple of months.
No, at this point, it's been a school year, which isn't even a full year yet.
Yeah, I'm like, calm down, girl. And you're right. You don't know him.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, and he doesn't know you, except he kind of does because he's intrinsic. But I'm sure that she has things that he doesn't know either.
No, there's like, you still have to learn a personality.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think they're just little babies. She's more of a baby.
She's 21. She's 20.
She's 20. She's not even 21 yet.
The next thing that I wanted to bring up was, so when Xaden's in the room, and I think I need to actually, hold on. I think I need to pull up the context of this because I don't remember exactly what was said, and I feel like I need it for this moment. Oh my God, this is really inappropriate. Okay, here it is. So when they agree that they're just going to remain friends. And then they kind of start trying to like turn each other on. Yeah, they get in the mood. Just the moment of Xaden like barricading is the right word, but closing her into a wall and putting his hand on the wall. I was like, hello, book talk. That one's for you. And it says, I can't read this out loud. I in good faith cannot. But
I'll do it for everyone. Where is it? This part?
Starting at his hand.
All right. This is where it starts to get spicy, y'all.
A dramatic retelling by Cassy.
His hand rests next to my head as he leans into my space, his lips curving into a half smile. Then I'll guess. Oh,
I know, it's okay. You don't have to read
it. Now I have to. All right. Then I guess I'll ignore the memory of how blank and slick you feel around my blank and how you cry out for more until I can think about it is. Whoa.
I told you, I don't think I can read it out loud.
Anyways, so basically he's just reliving some moments he had like a couple days earlier.
The last night.
This is still the day after?
The next morning. Yeah.
They're horny. They're horny. Oh my God.
He says like, oh, when I left, when it was dark this morning, I didn't realize we made such a mess.
Okay, hot and slick is words I never want to say out loud again. Okay.
Yeah. It's just the him, hand on the wall, hot. That's all. That was it. That was
hot.
It. Okay. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I have a question for the crowd. What would your reaction be? Would it be A, you're icked? Would it be B, that's hot? Or would it be C, I'm uncomfortable?
If a guy like trapped you.
Not just a guy.
Oh.
Your guy.
Not just a guy, the guy.
The guy.
If Xaden did it, hot.
Right there, right then.
Right. Yeah.
Right there, right then.
Violet's better than me.
Would you feel a little icked?
I truly don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because in my head it's pretty hot. I think in real life, yeah. But have you seen the trend on TikTok?
Yeah.
Do you know
Is
what I'm
it
talking about?
the trend where like people are trying to like,
Well, girls will just like make their boyfriend or their
they're like-
husbands do book talk things.
yeah.
Some of them find it attractive.
I've seen them, and then I'm just like, maybe I just
But
get icked easily.
No, that's fair. I mean, some of them are just like, oh, okay, it's a lot. It's awkward in person.
It's also, it's like, why are you filming it?
I agree.
Should be
like,
behind closed
do
door.
that in your personal time. We don't need to see it.
We don't need to see it. I think I would think it's hot, but I'd also get a little icked. Realistically, I'd get a little icked out about it.
This is getting too much.
I'm just saying the real shit.
No, I respect it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think that I could talk the way that Violet was to him. I don't think that I could be like, well, then I won't be thinking about and get very descriptive about what we were doing last night. I'm just not that type of person.
No.
So props to her, but I could not.
No, I couldn't. So,
And if a guy said that sentence to me,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know how I would.
Right?
how I would
So
feel
think
about
realistically, if someone were to come up to you, okay, that you just hooked up with,
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little too into
No,
it.
I agree.
But there's slight shame a little bit. Not shame, but it's not shame. That was the wrong word. But there's just like a not embarrassing feeling, but it's like when you're both kind of addressing a specific part.
Yeah.
And he's saying it in that way.
Yeah.
I would be like,
There's also there's a word that's used quite a lot in this book that I
the
don't.
C word.
Yes.
I hate the C word.
hate that
Can we
word
not use
so
the word
much.
cock? Can we not say
Can
that
you just
word?
call it your dick?
Your dick. Dick is better. Cock
I
makes me gag and not in a good way.
I hate that word so much.
And
Let's just use medical terms.
his penis. I don't know. Just something about cock seems really like intense.
I hate
Doesn't
that.
it feel like intense?
Yeah, and a lot of books
Authors
use that word.
please.
Maybe it's just me. I feel like I've never heard a guy. Well, not that I've never heard a guy, but I feel like they're more inclined to say my dick.
And not my. It just feels
It's such an
aggressive.
word.
It feels like really forward. I don't like the word.
I hate it.
Just like I don't like the P word.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm not gonna even say it because I hate
No,
that
I
word.
hate that word so much.
There's some of it where I'm like, this was written by a straight woman. If there was a little bit of gay to her,
What would she have used?
I don't know, something more fun. Something about these aggressive terms.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Okay.
Kind of takes me out a little bit. But then
Okay.
it brings me back in.
Yeah.
But then it takes me back
Yeah.
out. I don't know. I just think
That
we should
would
be
ick me.
rewriting our smut.
If Zayden had me up against a wall and then he said that word, I'd be like,
Thank you.
ugh.
So I did kind of prove my point. You'd feel a little icked.
Yeah, but it's not the action, it's the words.
Exactly. And I think words matter. If you
Fair.
just were to say it in a different way, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But he said it in a little bit of a weird tone. Love you, Zayden, but
We're going to have to run a survey. Like, hey guys, what do you refer to it as?
I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you.
Let us know.
Let us know. What would you say? What would you say?
You're trying to.
Give me the most creative way you're going to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
We can move on.
Okay, let's move on. So, okay. So I believe it's the next day.
Just one of those moments that I really hope my mom doesn't hear.
Okay. My mom said she hasn't even listened to episode 2, so we're
Beautiful.
good.
We're good, Mom.
I was like, that's okay, Mom. Okay, so I believe it's the next day, next couple days, they're eating in the cafeteria, the East High, if you remember from a couple episodes ago. So I just love this moment because they are mind to mind talking, and oh my god, they're having more dirty talk through their
which awkward as
through
hell
their
though.
minds.
I could not do that in
in
here,
a public setting,
and all my friends are around.
I know, it's really awkward. Well, Liam catches on. Liam's like,
poor Liam.
Poor Liam. Justice
like,
for Liam.
I'm just trying to fucking eat, and y'all are staring at each other's
like,
eyes.
No,
please.
Okay, but they're talking.
Uh-huh.
And Xaden makes Violet drop her fork. So, as payback, Violet says something else that I can't exactly remember, but you know, it's inappropriate. And she makes Xaden choke. And I love that. He chokes on, I don't know, his food, his water. In my mind, the vision of him choking out of nowhere, everybody being like, the heck is going on? And then Garrick slapping him and him having to drink water. It's just so funny to me.
It's so funny. But I also
and then
envision
Liam being like,
Violet, she has like this big old grin.
She's just like,
oh my god. Wait, I want to find it. What was he eating?
I think so, because they were in the cafeteria. It was a really quick scene. And they also address, well, they don't say anything, but she mentions like something about how the night before they were sparring.
Yeah.
And she's like,
okay, this is where I'm
when we like almost gave in to temptation the night before.
The part is going back to where he's choking. She's like, fuck this, two can play it at this game. If you just man up and admit that there's something between us, I would strip down to my skin so you could see every single inch to me. And once I had you begging, I'd drop down to my knees, undo those flight leathers you're wearing, and wrap my limbs around. Xaden chokes.
Lips, not limbs.
Lips. Sorry. Chokes every head in the dining hall, turns his way, and Garrick pounds on his back until Xaden waves him off, taking a drink of water. I grin, which earns me about 6 looks of confusion from our table and 1 set of rolled eyes from Leon. And Xaden goes, "You're going to be the death of me." We'll uncover that later, but that's so fucking funny. I'm sorry, but that's so fucking funny. He's like, Garrett's like, bah! And then Xaden's like,
yeah,
I'm good.
Like,
I'm good.
It's so funny.
Do you think, hold on.
What?
Do you think that Xaden's a little chismosa and he tells Garrick all the dirty details?
I think so.
He's like, bro, like, we totally did it last night.
Yeah. Well, they help him move in the new armoire. Armoire. It's a hard word to say.
Armoire?
Armoire?
The armoire?
Armoire. They help him move in
like, what the fuck is this?
Come on. They have to know.
They have to. Well, I'm sure they know, but I would love to hear how Xaden explains it.
I think so, because based on the bonus chapters we get from his perspective, Garrick is very obviously like, ooh, you're jealous. So I would imagine, even if Xaden doesn't say anything, Garrick is like piecing it together and probably making fun of him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just like how the bros would do it.
Just, you know, I'm not one, but I can only imagine.
But I can only imagine. We were talking about the sparring.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this kind of ties in a little bit. We've mentioned this before, but why don't we have more sparring lessons?
Yeah, I'm upset. Why? I want to know
because
what happened.
I know that they're good. I know that they're good. And when they constantly reference it, I'm just like, something must have like...
I think it's like she wants us to be
hot.
like, dang it, what happened?
But I also wrote, like, why is the audience getting the violet treatment and being held back from knowledge? Why are Rebecca? We're not Violet. We need to know. So I just think it's kind of rude, and I would like to hear. Also, like, it just kind of magically says that she's getting better and better from sparring and like her fighting skills. I was like, well, I would like to see it.
Rebecca Yaros, though, she did say that she's not that great at writing like battle scenes or fight scenes, which, I mean, like, girl, you better pick it up, because that's what this whole series is.
Onyx Storm's about.
But I know that she said that there's been times where she writes a scene and then like her editor or her, I don't know, I'm assuming editor is like, no, you got to make that like 3 more pages, girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, dang it, because she just like doesn't know how to extend it. So I feel like maybe it came from that.
Maybe.
Of like,
I'll take the rough cuts, Rebecca.
Give me
draft
one.
Please. I'll take anything you had. I think you have some good ones.
Oh, yeah. So after that, they go into battle brief. And you guys know me. I have to throw out that there's a scalp prickle. We haven't had one in a while. And I am dying at... So they go in there, and obviously it's reunification day. And Violet's like, Brennan was killed 6 years ago, and like it's such a rough day. I don't care if Xaden doesn't love me. I just need to have sex.
Yeah, literally.
And so then she's like, Xaden, take me to bed, which is so I would never tell a man
why
that. But anyway, he's like, no. And then what does she say? Oh, that's when she asks if there's somebody else. She's like, why is there somebody else? And then I'm just dying at him just going, Sorngale, out of nowhere.
Davenport.
Okay, wait, I have to call that out. You said that in the last episode, and I don't know why I didn't catch it. His name is Danforth.
What's Davenport?
I don't know. But I was editing it, and I was like,
also, you didn't call me out.
No, I was like, oh my God, I'm a fake fan.
I'm not going to even say that I'm a big fan, so I'm not claiming that, but...
No,
So it's all your fault?
For those that don't know, I'm a huge High School Musical fan. I think I was just truly, it's the way that I don't realize things until I'm editing. Like, you'll say something or I'll say something, and I'm like, I was not actively listening. I'll agree or I'll say something and I'll just keep going, and then I listen back and I'm like that wait, was not correct.
It's Danforth, huh?
Danforth.
Well, I did it again. Anyways.
It's okay.
The yelling, I'm telling you, this series is HSM.
HSM 3.
3 coded.
Senior year. No, but I just love him yelling that out of nowhere. Losing his cool. We love to see Xaden losing his cool. Oh, which I literally wrote down. And then I just love everybody being like, okay.
That must be so awkward.
That's so awkward.
Can
you imagine somebody... it's just complete quiet in the room. You're in a classroom setting. There's like 1,000 people. No, probably not. They're all dying. There's like 30 people.
There's like 30 people left.
And then he just yells out, Sorngale, out of nowhere.
I think that's so awkward.
It's so weird.
Because what do you even say to that? You can't even justify it. You're just like...
Yeah, I think she gets really embarrassed.
Like, that's how I would act, to be like... Well, anyways,
well, I would just be like, yes?
Like, yeah, what? Xaden?
What? Freak?
Ryerson? Yell it back.
He covers it up really nicely, though.
He does.
He's like, yeah, anyway, I'd get Mira Sorngale to do blah, 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 blah. I'm like, quick thinking there, wing leader.
Oh, he's done this before.
Going off of that, I don't know if you have something, but she says after this moment, when he says... Okay, I might need to pull up the quote because I need everybody's opinion who says this line, because I think the first time I read it, I thought it was Violet. Now I think it's Xaden. So, give me a minute.
Okay. With that, when Violet, because we just talked about how Violet was questioning Xaden and whether or not, like, he has someone else or anything. I just think that if she was thinking about him and Imogen, she should have kept that to herself. Like, I don't know. It kind of puts Imogen in a bad light, too. She's just insecure. Yeah. I just think that, I don't know. I get it where you're feeling, like, insecure because it's in the first stages of your relationship. That's barely a relationship. But I also think that, like, you're also talking about, like, a friend who's trained you, too. And you're, like, just claiming, like, oh, maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's Imogen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could have kept her to herself.
No, that's fair. Okay, so the quote is, he calls out Sorngale, and then Devera is like, yes, Ryerson. So he says that he would have Mira Sorngale temporarily transfer. And then she says, good idea. And what riders are the most logical choice to help rebuild the wards in this particular mountain pass? Violet says third years, and she says, go on. Violet then says, third years are taught to build wards. And at this point in the year, they're leaving anyway. May as well send them early so they can be of use. In their mind-to-mind conversations, it says, point fucking made. Who is saying that? At first, I thought it was Violet responding to Xaden.
I feel like Xaden's
point
saying
fucking made.
that.
But now I feel like it's Xaden because she says, they're leaving anyway, may as well send them early. And him going, okay, point fucking made.
I think now, okay, I think I first read that
and
as
then she
Violet.
says, I slam my shields down and block him out.
Yeah. I think it was Xaden.
Okay.
Because I think the first time I read that, I remember being like, is she just...
Yeah.
She's just like emphasizing to Xaden, like...
That's what I thought.
Here, I'm upset about this part, but... Yeah, no, that's a good one.
It's Xaden now.
Sometimes when they're talking mind to mind, it doesn't always say like who's saying the first thing.
Yeah.
So it leaves us to interpret like, oh, would it be this person?
Sometimes books do that, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not following.
I'm not smart.
I need you to add in the he said, she said, he growls.
I need a purr.
I need
a purr. I'm sorry.
Point fucking made. Purred.
He purred.
I'm sorry. That was a loud pee.
I think you still have a couple one. Sorry, guys. Brittany really popped off on her favorite moments to where there are a lot of mine as well. So I'm just going to be piggybacking.
Okay. So next up, Liam almost gives away that he knows that Brennan is alive, which I know is we've already...
This is one that
we're
a
little bit late. We're not late, but you know, since Fourth Wing's been out for a while,
yes.
This is a theory that has been talked about because Violet says Brennan would hate all of this when they're at the party. And then he responds, yeah, sounds like. And then he cuts himself off. But he kind of covers it up as if, like, it's the King Tari, interrupting him. So Violet doesn't think anything of it. And I personally did not think anything of it my first read through.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you brought this up because I didn't see it on yours, but I wrote the same thing.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
But I also think that he could have covered it up being like Liam had to know a lot about Violet because he was protecting her. So I'm sure maybe she was like, oh, like, or if she ever even thought about it, like Xaden had to tell Liam enough about her.
The thing is, though, for as smart as Violet is, I don't even think she picks up on it.
No. My thought was, I feel like she didn't think of any of this because it's like, why would you still think that your dead brother's alive?
Yeah.
So like,
and like, why would Liam of all people knowing about him, right? So I don't know, I still think it's all tied in, even regardless if Liam, since we know that Liam did know him, right?
They have to know about Brennan and stuff like that. But I just, wow.
Okay, I just love this section where they end up sneaking out of the party, and Violet is like, I have to go talk to Xaden, right? And I love her saying, Liam, you know I adore you, right? And he goes, well, that's nice. And she goes, go away. And then he's like, and she's like, sorry, yeah, go away. I have to go talk to Xaden. And it's just so, he's so wholesome and cute. And it's just so, I can picture
him. I miss him.
Liam, you know I adore you. That's so, go away.
Go away. And he's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my best friend. Go away, please.
I'd be like, you bitch. And then walk away still. I just want to go back real quick.
Okay.
We need to, I know we acknowledge how Violet's dress is and how beautiful it is. The way it's described, it's like it's like a slit. Is it slit here or is it slit down here?
There's a slit on one of her legs.
Yeah. And it's very, very nice.
Yeah, she talks about a corset, but I believe she's talking about the armor.
Yeah, I think so. But let's all acknowledge that the whole damn squad popped off because I remember she was explaining it in the book of how they looked. It's not every day they get to dress up and look cute together, so I just think we should acknowledge it's kind of given prom.
Oh, yeah, except we're celebrating the
dead people of their parents.
Yeah.
But I just think it's good to acknowledge that the bestie group, you know, they popped off. And it's cute.
What's with the sashes?
It's kind of giving...
Has their name on it? It's giving prom queen.
It's giving prom queen. It's giving Olivia Rodrigo's Obsessed video.
Yes.
I don't know what is with the sashes. Does it say... It says their names?
I think it says their name and it has the stars for how many years they are.
Okay. Hopefully it's not the sash, the shiny silky sashes that we have today.
She says it's black, but I was imagining a prom queen black.
Do you think they did a mass order on Amazon or Etsy?
Do you think they have an Amazon?
Do you think they have an Amazon?
How do they get their mail? Is it delivered by carrier pigeon? By dragon?
Pigeon?
Like Harry Potter?
Oh my god, an owl's being sent around, just wandering, throwing letters around.
Dragons?
Do you think they have to pay for express shipping? Because it's like, if you're getting all these sashes, someone's making them, right? Surely.
And they don't live in Basgaya.
No, because they have to get it expedited. I'm just thinking, what are these sashes made out of? Cloth, not the satin that we have. Silk?
I don't know.
Silkworms. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had...
No, I do... I'm so curious about this world. Rebecca, if you're listening,
please
comment down below.
This is the second time we've brought this up.
I just want to know how people get around if they're not dragon riders. Do they drive? Is it horse-drawn carriage? They don't have horses, to my knowledge.
But they have goats.
Goat-drawn carriage? Is that what you think?
Well, I'm sure you can ride a goat if you're small enough.
I just want to know.
I don't know. There's something about it that I'm like, you can't just be traveling. Wagon?
Yeah, maybe.
Flintstone car? Where you're just
Little
dragging
rocks?
with your feet? I don't know.
I have a lot of questions about that, though.
But I'm also like, there's seamstresses, right? They built all those dresses.
Yeah, there has to be. Yeah.
Where'd they get the dresses?
Well,
how'd they get them?
No, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
Where's the material coming from?
Yeah, no,
sewing machine? Hand sewed?
There's no way. All good questions. We're going to leave it there.
Leaving it there. Putting a pin in it.
Okay. I have to bring this up real quick. Where the fuck has Bodhi been?
Right?
This entire book. And I was so obsessed with this that I did a search of the name Bodhi on my Kindle to find out where he has been. I think he's mentioned, I think it said like 30 times in Fourth Wing. And it was showing me the earlier chapters where there is a couple times where he's mentioned, like when he goes to Athbean with Xaden. And then there's one reference where she's like, oh, Bodhi looks a lot like Xaden, but they're cousins. But then that's it.
Where the fuck is Bodhi?
Where has he been? And then all of a sudden he's mentioned. He's there. He's like at the ledge with Garrick. And they're like, don't go out there, Sorengale. And I'm like, literally, Bodhi, where have you been?
Do you think...
He's venin.
He's definitely venin. He's appearing. Was he a main, what is it called? Like deliverer of the weapons?
Oh, maybe.
We don't find that out in Iron Flame, do we?
I don't think so.
But I mean, just for my piece of knowledge, I would like to know that he was doing something productive.
I mean, I guess he's not a main character in this book,
but he's very important to Xaden.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't we have him in a limelight?
I just feel like he disappeared for most of the book.
He did.
And I'm like, literally, where was he? And maybe he didn't have a purpose of being involved.
Maybe not.
But I just feel like all of a sudden now he's thrown into our face.
Oh my god, can you imagine? He's like a filler for Xaden since they look so alike.
Okay, that's a theory.
We need to add that to theory.
That's a theory on TikTok. Oh my god, what if...
Wait, what were you gonna say?
What if there's like a little love triangle? And Violet's dating both of them. And Xaden.
That will fuck me over for a week. I don't know if that will send me down a spiral.
It's giving... That would make me... I would revert back to being 13 again and reading Twilight and being like, this is so unfair that this girl got two hot men. She gets to make out with both of them?
Why?
Why? I
just split it up a little bit.
I just remember being like, you're telling me Kristen Stewart gets to make out with Robert Pattinson and Taylor Lautner?
Crazy.
What do I have to do to get that kind of luck?
I don't know.
And he married a fan. It could have been me.
That should be me.
Holding your hand.
You lost Justin Bieber too.
No, it's really sad that all of my celebrity crushes are like married. Good for them. I'm sorry.
Good for them.
Good for them, I guess.
I'm sorry for your loss, Brittany. Moment of silence for Brittany. Sorry, John. Anyways.
Sorry, John. You know who's not married? Braden from Wallows, if you're watching. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, John.
You know who's fully single?
I hear he's single, so don't steal Braden away from me.
She was serious about that. Anyways.
It's okay, John knows.
Bodhi.
Actually, you know who's single? Zac Efron. And that is my number one. Why'd you make that face?
Just because, like, recently he hasn't been looking great.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
He's gained a little bit of weight in his face.
Well, that's not it. It's just he's giving old.
Okay.
He's aging.
That's rude. I mean, he's like 37. Yeah, he's aging. He's not going to look like he was when he's 15.
He hasn't aged just yet as fine wine. He's still in the barrel.
I don't think I agree, but that's okay. Because one less person to steal him from me.
Got him off my hands, girly.
So,
trust me.
Zach, if you're watching,
there she is.
I'm single for you.
John's like crying.
It's okay. John knows.
At least he respects.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I think he'd be happy for me.
I think. Fuck it. That's fucked up. But a healthy relationship, which I love. Anyways, if you guys find Bodhi, let us know and bring him to us.
Bring him
I miss
to
him.
us. It's okay. We get plenty of Bodhi and Iron Flame.
Oh, we do get plenty of Bodhi. But, like, where the fuck was he? Anyways.
I just want to know why he's all of a sudden so casual. And she's like, oh, there's Bodhi. I'm like, have you guys even been introduced?
I'm like, maybe he was in all the sparring lessons that we never knew.
Okay, that's fair. Maybe. I guess he was the second year and, like, she was the first year.
I feel like the second years were very separated from the first years.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So.
More than the third years were.
Yes, I agree.
Interesting.
Whatever. So, this isn't exactly a theory because it's proven. I'm proving it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Violet steps onto the parapet and she thinks he's going to be so pissed when he hears that I did this and is cut off by Xaden responding to her saying, already am.
How did we not
in her
know?
head. I know. But, oh, wait. I don't know what I was going to be like, but he read her mind.
Right, girl.
But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm a dumb reader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I wasn't like, yes, I think I was just like, oh, he must have heard her.
Yeah.
But no, he very obviously read her mind.
It's also really hard because I just always thought that I was dumb and didn't really see into when they were mind to mind talking. Or like it was like, oh, Rebecca forgot to italicize it.
Right. No, there's definitely times that I'm like, was that an editing error?
Or was that me?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's very obvious that he had been reading her mind so many times and we didn't even acknowledge
There's another one
it.
coming up too. So I'm a stupid reader.
I just also think what a full circle moment it is for her to cross the parapet.
Oh yeah.
And like
for love
and just like for her own personal confidence and strength and seeing where she's caught. Like, parapet was the first scariest thing that she's ever done.
Right.
And like, look at her just easily doing this in a fucking dress.
Yes.
Badass.
I know.
Bitch.
I know. I agree.
That was just the point I was making, was just like, I think that's a full circle. Like, wow, she should feel proud of herself, but she also needs to chill the fuck out when it comes to Xaden. But, you know, good for you, girl.
I just have a question for the room.
Okay.
Xaden says, okay, so when he's worried, he's like, Violet, what are you doing up here? You could fall and die to and die. She's like, I could say the same thing to you. He says that he wields shadows, so he's just as safe on the parapet as he is in the courtyard. What the hell can his shadows do? I have so many. They can pick up things. They can break a fall. They can black out a room.
Okay.
I have so many questions.
I hate to go back to day one, Twitches. But I watched Twitches last October for Halloween, so it's still freshly in my mind. I remember those like shadows or whatever that was, the clouds or anything like that. It's kind of like a force barrier.
Right.
If we're gonna get into Star Wars terms here.
Okay.
But like a force field-ish vibe that I feel like is controllable with his shadows. That like are together. Because I imagine when it's breaking a fall, it like swoops underneath you and like carries you down too.
That's just crazy.
I know.
He's like so powerful.
Do you envision shadows more like clouds or more like how do you envision it now in this moment as he's explaining it?
Oh, I guess like a mist.
More like see-through-y,
kind of. Yeah. Or like a mass.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm still holding strong on the twitches.
Well, I agree. I don't think it looks I guess when I'm picturing it with him, not as cloudy. It's more like a ghost shadow.
Oh, a ghost. Okay, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like a figure.
Yeah. Okay. Like a Peter Pan.
I literally was going to be like Peter Pan shadow, if you will.
Because it's valid. It's valid. I kind of see a little bit more cloudy, but okay. I think it's kind of goes both ways.
Okay, I just love Xaden being so giddy that Violet is jealous. Get over yourself.
Oh my god. Well, for me, I feel like Xaden truly, like, he's experiencing like the real stages of love. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course he had Kat, but we both agreed that wasn't a real relationship.
No, I mean, he says that they didn't like each other. They hated each other, actually.
So he's going through all of it, and I'm like, okay, also Violet is always just jealous.
It's true. I think he likes getting a rise out of her.
Of course. It creates good banter.
Going along with that, though, I need Garrick and Imogen together. Why did we get a second book and nothing happened between them? It makes me sad.
I feel like they're too
hard-headed.
Yeah, they're too similar with their like.
I just want everyone to be happy.
I know. Also, Rhiannon, where was she in this? Where was she?
At the party. She
was at the party, right? I just wish she was tagging along.
You want her to be there when they're hooking up? I'm confused what you mean.
I'll explain it next episode. I'll explain it next episode. Okay. I gotta put a pin in my brain to bring that up later.
Okay, fine. Okay, so...
Do I want them in the room while they're hooking up?
I don't know. I was confused. I was confused what you meant there. This quote just makes me cry, and I feel like it's foreshadowing.
Okay.
Rebecca knew what she was doing when she wrote this. So they're talking, and Xaden's like, wow, in 10 days I graduate, and I won't even be here to, like, stop you if something happens or, you know, interfere in a battle, whatever. And then he says, Liam will be here next year to make sure you're not doing asinine things. And then Violet says, you're gonna love getting his letters. Rebecca Yaros, I will be charging you with my therapy bill for that line. But I feel like it's so I got Australian.
Sorry. It's
so sad. I feel like it's foreshadowing because she says you're gonna love getting his letters, and Sloane is reading his letters in all of Iron Flame. This is gonna be next week's gonna be hard.
I don't.
It's gonna be really hard.
I'm going to sob. I think we just need to prepare everybody that I will be crying.
Yeah, that's all. I just felt like it was very sad and very foreshadowing, and Rebecca knew what she was doing.
I saw a fun TikTok today of like Xaden at graduation just being like, I'd like to thank everyone. Just me though. And it was like a Snoop Dogg clip, and it was of him like, it's just like, the only person who's got me through this was myself.
Oh, so true.
And I was like, Xaden would say something like that if he was able to say something like that at a graduation. You had a really good part. I hate to bring this up and take this away from you.
Go for it.
But where you're like, I love Violet's newfound confidence when she's leading Xaden's to his own room.
Yes.
That's pretty wild.
No, when I was
his own room
rereading it, I was like, oh my gosh, because I feel going off of what you're saying of like, this is such a full circle moment of her being on the parapet and then her having this confidence around this guy who she was always so like shy around, and
Insecure
he was
about,
so calm, cool, and collected, and now she's the one being very confident and kind of like dragging him around. I love that. I love her.
It's good for her.
Yeah.
But it's also like Xaden is allowing her to like kind of take the leads on things. He has for a while, because he wants her to be conscious of the decisions that she's making.
Right.
So it's a happy medium that I love.
Definitely.
You can go ahead and ask your next question, because it's going to be a loaded one.
Okay, how do we think Xaden's room looks? And him having a clean room, I love it. As if he couldn't be more perfect.
Like,
where do I get one of those?
Where do I get one of those? I see his... Okay, so the way I see his room, huge. I see it big, because he's a wing leader.
I'm overestimating all of their rooms. I'm
No.
like, they live in palaces.
No, I know. I see his room being pretty big, and I smell the good musk.
Okay.
Not the gross musk.
Yes.
But a good musk. The mint and the leather. I envision he has a candle, because I feel he's that secure with himself.
Yeah.
Or an air freshener.
Okay.
And he has everything organized.
Yep.
Because his life's a mess.
Yep.
Might as well make his room a good mess.
Yes.
I envision that he has military folded sheets. Like, he's ordered for that. And that, what was I thinking? Do you think he has decorations?
I don't think he has decorations, actually.
I wish.
Well, I feel like maybe like a little trinket on his desk. Mm-hmm. Like a little bookshelf. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he has like art hanging on the wall. Do you?
No.
I imagine it like almost looks like nobody lives there.
I'm thinking like an outpost, like for when he's going off to like an outpost. It just gives off military vibes.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought up the decorations bit was, do they have pictures?
Do they have cameras?
Photographs? Do they have cameras? And if he did, do you think he would keep a small picture of Violet with him?
In his wallet? That's cute.
Wouldn't that be cute?
That's such a good question.
Imagine,
do they have pictures?
Do they have pictures?
That's a great question.
I mean, I think so.
It's like those old timey.
Yeah, like a little photo booth camera.
Interesting.
I just imagine, this is just me being funny. Imagine he has like a picture of like Violet by his like desk, and like she's walking and he's like
it's like she's like looking somewhere and he took the picture,
and he's like yeah, it's my room, it's my crib, welcome.
That's funny. I didn't think about that, actually.
I don't know, I like to envision him being cute and realistic like that. But I envision his room big. Yep. Pretty big, and it smells good. Like he has a candle on. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's big. Also, I feel like when you walk in, he's got a desk immediately to the left.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Okay.
I feel right.
Oh, okay.
Getting crazy.
I don't know why I feel like his door is offset to the right. So I feel like the desk is to the left.
Got it.
I think that next to that is where he has his like thing that has all of the daggers and weapons in it.
Okay.
Then next to that is his like armoire that has all of his clothes. I don't exactly know where his dresser is, on a different wall. And then I think his bed would be like center of the room. Okay. If you're in the doorway, you're facing it. Okay. And he has a giant window. Yeah. And then black curtains, which she says, I'm not making that up. But he has like black curtains on either side. His black bedding.
Do you think he has blackout curtains?
I think so. He doesn't sleep very well. He needs all the help he can get.
Would he be able to just have his shadows be a blackout curtain?
Oh, that's actually such a good question. Maybe he doesn't need blackout curtains.
In this part, I know I'm jumping a little bit, but the window is above the bed. Yes. Like the window is above the bed. Window breaks. Right. Glass. Right. Shards everywhere.
Well, sand.
Oh, okay. Glass is made out of sand? When it grits down, it's sand, right?
Well, it is made out of sand. I don't think that the process works the same way in the reverse order. That's why I was a little confused.
We talked about this last week.
What the hell his shadows are capable of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they can protect and what they let through.
Apparently it could turn glass to sand.
Isn't sand all glass, though? Or is it rock?
Huh?
Like on a beach. Shards of glass, right?
Oh, well, sand gets like melted into glass.
Okay, because when we were talking, when I was listening to the pod last week, I was thinking
I think we had this conversation off
camera.
Yeah, because John was in it. I remember.
Why do I remember listening to something we talked about sand?
I don't know.
Who was I listening to? But I'm envisioning like beach sand on their bed.
That's what I'm envisioning too. So they have beaches.
Where's Laguna? Is it clear water? Is it murky water?
Yeah.
Sandcastles?
Like pebble beaches.
Seashells?
I don't know.
Wait. What's by... Cat's Palace is by a beach.
You're right.
Right?
You're right. I think so.
So they have beaches.
Mm-hmm.
So they have loads of sand that come in to
Got
make
it.
glass. I'm sorry. I literally need to shut up with that lore. I need to get out of the lore.
Yeah, but yes, I don't fully get it, but yeah, it does turn to sand, I guess.
Oh my god, your next one.
So I just have to bring up this moment because so Violet's like, nobody takes care of Xaden, blah blah blah. He doesn't exactly know what she's got in store for him, right? She says she's just gonna put him to bed, and not in a sexual way, just like
night night,
tuck him in.
Little burrito.
So I just think this part is so funny because so let's get ourselves in the moment. She has Xaden sit on the bed. She also talks about his long legs like stretching. I'm like, this man is tall. So anyway, she has him sitting on the bed. He's leaning back. Hot. I can imagine it. Okay. He's leaning back on the bed and she is standing between his legs, hands in his hair.
Hot.
Okay. So then she tells him something about, she says like, I'm going to take care of you. That's already sexual, Violet.
So sexual.
I can imagine how he's interpreting that. And then she bends down to take off his boots though, right? And he's like, Violet. And she's like, calm down. I'm just taking off your boots, right? And then I love that she takes them over to his dresser and he's like, just leave them there. And then she's like, I wasn't going to go snooping. Calm down. Violet, that's not what he was worried about. He was not worried about you seeing his jackets.
Mm-mm.
I can tell you that.
Mm-mm.
I just love to see him in a little bit of distress.
He's panicked a little bit.
I love to see it. So, and I love that she just wasn't catching, like, she's like, dude, chill
out.
And it's like,
he's
no,
like, he's
yeah.
Violet.
Yeah.
We need to tell you.
It's like, she's got him wrapped around her finger.
This is what inspired Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Looking so cute, wrapped around my finger. No,
she's like, I stay up late because I'm a singer.
I'm a singer. He's so cute, wrapped around my finger. I love when she is kind of giving this like sexy queen where she's playing him more than he plays her.
Yep.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't realize the power she has over him.
She has a lot of power.
Yeah.
But I loved that part because I remember reading it and I was like, oh my god, what is she doing? What is she doing? And then in that part, they're literally, okay, so you guys know the song, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 days a week, all day, every second, every minute,
every hour.
That's literally what they were doing the entire night.
Yeah, till like 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
That's kind of crazy.
They say they went on for what, 4 or 5 times?
5. They were on 5 when they get interrupted.
On 5. That's crazy. No, they were crazy. That's crazy.
I also have to bring up, so another intrinsic moment happens at this point. Let me get the quote for y'all.
Please.
They're having a time, and Violet says she is thinking this to herself. I'm not going to survive this. I'm going to die right here in this bed. And then Xaden says out loud, then I'm going to die with you. And then she says, I'm so far gone, I didn't even realize that I said those words out loud. And then I remember that I don't have to.
That has a double meaning.
What do you mean?
Because it's like, yeah, you don't have to, because
yes.
he is already reading your mind, but also you have mind-to-mind connection.
Yeah. I guess it's hard because if I could communicate mind to mind with somebody, I would be like, oh, dang, I didn't know how to control my thoughts there. But there's a couple times where I'm like, I don't know how she wasn't like, wait, how did he know that?
I guess like she's,
and I guess she just caught up in the moment.
Yeah,
but
well, she's a little distracted.
I would be too.
We would be too. But I also, maybe she's just like you said, like underestimating like whether or not she can fully control whether or not she can hear him or not. Yeah. But I'm just like, girl, it's pretty fucking obvious now that we know. It wasn't obvious to us in the moment, but so now I'm like, well, it is. Yeah.
Well, moving on from that moment, do you have anything else from this?
No, because it's beautiful, and I just think everyone needs to reread it because it's a pretty great scene. Also, the smut was back to back.
Yeah, it really was.
I didn't realize that until we were rereading this. I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was pretty much 3 chapters within each other.
I have some quotes.
Beautiful.
But I'll read them later. But where is it? I just want to say, so when they are racing out to the courtyard, Violet runs into Liam and he's buttoning up his jacket and she says something like, have a good night, and he blushes and is like, yeah. Do we think that him and Jacinia had a passionate night together? I hope they did.
I hope so for their sake.
I really hope that they did.
I really do. I'm gonna die. If it wasn't
Jacinia, it was someone. But I hope it was.
It was Jacinia because he was
smitten
with her.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he's blushing. I'm gonna choose to believe it was.
I'm choosing because I think he was loyal enough.
Yeah,
he was definitely loyal enough. Oh, I forgot about that part. That's so cute.
And then going off of that,
Rhiannon is real.
I just love Rhiannon, figuring out like Violet's wearing Xaden's flight jacket. And then she's just like, tell me it's good. Rhiannon always is trying to get all the tea.
I love her for it because she's so funny about it.
Yeah.
She's such a supportive bestie when it comes to him. Everyone was hooking up that night.
They were celebrating. They were celebrating the death of millions of kids' parents. Mm-hmm. Not millions. 107.
107.
When oh my god, Varish. I'm jumping ahead to the second book. When Atos gives Xaden the orders for what they're going to be doing for war games, Violet thinks something about the way his smile slips for a heartbeat makes the hair rise on the back of my neck. So I just feel like she was kind of clocking there that he was up to something sketchy.
I'm like, girl, this is how it's been. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
But I think the physical reaction's pretty crazy.
Jumping ahead to when they're landing at Athbean, or close to Athbean. And we get a pretty like hot makeout session from Xaden and Violet.
Yeah.
And him saying, tell me what you're thinking as they're making out is, I'm guessing, because he's making a conscious effort to not read her mind, but he's so desperate for information and like so desperate to know what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Because what a weird thing to ask as you're making out with
I think
someone.
that is weird. One thing, okay. Not to jump back a little bit, but before they left, because I just thought about this with this quote. I remember when we're still at the Reunification ball, whatever. We see Violet's mom, Atos, and
King
Tari. They were talking all together. And remember, they were all like spectating whether or not what they were saying, and then they called up Dane.
Right.
And they were talking to Dane pretty intensely. And when that was all kind of happening and Dane interacted with Violet, right? Or was that
right? No, you're right.
I feel like in this moment, Xaden didn't have time to like read Violet's mind about what happened between that. That part, I don't know. I feel like he's trying to like piece a lot of stuff together, because before they left, Xaden hugs her, or Dane hugs her.
Or he cups her face
and reads her memories.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is, when he's like, tell me what you're thinking, I feel like maybe he's just like trying to see what Dane could have.
You think that as they're making out, he's trying to figure out what Dane figured out?
I think he's strategic sometimes.
Wow.
But I also think that this was a pretty dangerous part, because they're heading towards territory that he hasn't exposed to Violet yet.
That's fair.
So, and I mean, we kind of get into it. We already said that he tells like the Griffin Riders like they're already early. So I'm like, is he trying to figure out, is she like conspiracizing that something's going on? Like, this seems weird. I don't know.
Right.
Even I know they're having a passionate makeout scene, but I also think that he's trying to protect her and protect what they're doing.
Okay, no, that's fair. I think I didn't think that way, but
you're like, he's just thinking about getting it on in this freaking lake forest thing.
I was. I guess I was wrong.
No. Either way is fine. Who knows? But like, because he is desperate to know everything, that I feel like he's still trying to piece together of like, oh, is she stressing? Is she worried right now, or is she in the moment of this makeout session?
That's fair. Well, also talking about the makeout session, I think that Violet saying, oh, because he asks her like, what are you thinking of? And she's like, I'm thinking of what I thought the first time we like slept together. And he's like, what is it? She's like, you're a very dangerous addiction. That's just hot. As they're making out. Also, I had to point out that I love the way she describes our POC king Xaden.
Yep.
Because she says that her gaze skims over the silver line of his scar, the thick lashes so many women would kill for, and over the bump in his nose to that perfectly sculpted mouth. And made me feel better about myself, because I have a little bump in my nose. So me and Xaden have that in common. But I was also like, that's how I know he's POC.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the way that he's described, it just doesn't sound like your regular white man.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, confirmed, but
Rebecca. I don't know why people do fan art and it's of like a white male.
Yeah.
I go, that is not the Xaden I envision.
Not what it looks like.
Thank you. Okay, your quote. This is going to make us go spiral.
Yeah. So Xaden says, I've been yours for longer than you could ever imagine. This is a quote that kind of made the fan base go wild.
Yes. I have a debrief on this. Okay. Feel free to chime in, but I think this all kind of goes back for me to Brennan. So I think that this is what I wrote down. I think that Brennan told Xaden all about her, about his little sister, and when Xaden actually met her, there was like a change in perspective, and like maybe it was, did Brennan explain his little sister as like a meek little thing? Did he explain that, oh, she has a little bit of strength that me and Mira don't have? And when he says this, I think that it settles to him, but of course he doesn't say this until they're like making out, whatever, of when he's sitting on the parapet and it like hit him in so many different ways that their relationship together is very different than any other relationship will ever be, because they're soul tied, their death and are like conjoined, and they have a much deeper relationship than I think he ever expected. But he has been hers longer because he's like known about her longer than like known.
Yeah.
Not like knew of her, but known of her because of her brother.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I think that a lot of other people had similar thoughts, but I guess the only thing that makes me question it is that Rebecca said no to that.
I remember seeing that.
But I think because people were saying like, oh, Brennan must have described her and he was in love with her before he met her. And
no,
so
I don't
she
agree
was just
that.
Because Brennan would have died when she was like 14, right? Is that right? Yeah, like 14.
She was young.
And so she was like, that's creepy that he would be describing a 14-year-old to him.
Yeah.
But I can imagine, though, that, I mean, obviously Xaden is piecing together that they're around the same age. So I feel like if you are saying, like, oh, my sister loved books or my sister did this, then when you're meeting her as an adult, it's like, you know all these things about her.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking that he would have described her maybe more as like she's been such a, like a bright, smart kid, and like out of all of the siblings, I feel like Brennan did put Violet as a higher pedestal than him and Mira.
Yeah.
So I think that with having the connection between him, Brennan, and Violet, Xaden has kind of always known that she has like a very strong will to her,
right? And
he's always been like not necessarily like attracted to that, but like understands it and wants to be like near a person like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes any sense, but I remember when Rebecca was saying that, like, no, I don't think he would have been into like a 14-year-old, but I think more of like her character and like how she is just as a person, that could have been, but honestly I don't know. That quote is pretty freaking heavy, and it could be more than we think.
No, I mean, I agree. I think it's going to come into play maybe
in the next one
later, because I would like to know what exactly he means by that.
I mean, it's like tied into like Andarna, like, I've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
And like, why is it? What's going?
Yeah.
Is she fulfilling a prophecy that we don't know?
I think so. I think so.
Huh.
After their kiss, just want to point out, this is, I think, another moment where Xaden is reading somebody's mind. So it says, Xaden yanks his mouth away with a gasp, breaking the kiss and cocking his head to the side as if listening for something. So I feel like you heard the thoughts of the Griffin riders, because she can't even hear anything for another couple seconds. So
I agree with that.
Just another moment. Dumb readers over here.
Dumb readers.
Oh, and going off of this, as I reread it, I was being reminded of my first time reading this. I remember feeling as betrayed as Violet in this moment, and literally thinking like, she's gonna die. She's around all these marked ones. They've been betraying her. Xaden's a villain. And like, not like I was ready to go fully against him, but I was just like, oh my God, she's gonna die. Or like, I don't know. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I truly was like, I'm betrayed.
No, I had the same reaction. I don't know if I texted you during that whole part.
I can't remember.
But I wish I remembered, because I remember I was sobbing. And in anything I will cry too, but I remember crying because I was like, fuck, this is how it is. Like, this is the enemies to lovers. Like, they're gonna kill her. They're just gonna kill her.
Like, I don't know if I fully thought they were gonna kill her, and I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but I was just like, oh my God, everything's a lie.
I remember being like, oh fuck, did Xaden fake like fall in love with her to get her to come here, and then they're gonna kill her all together? But now he's like, no, don't kill her, she's the love of my life. I thought strategically like that, and I remember panicking and being like, oh my God, the betrayal is crazy. Truly, it's so sad, but it worked out
well. The epigraph of chapter 35, just thought it was interesting because it says that Fen Ryerson lost touch with reality and accused the king and others of a conspiracy that does not bear repeating. Like, it was so terrible that we're not even going to repeat it, and that his execution was swift and merciful for a madman who had cost untold lives. Obviously, he was, accusing them of not doing anything for the venin, and just the way that the history got deleted like that, and him saying like, or because I think Markham had transcribed this or whatever, him saying that it doesn't bear repeating. So like, we don't even really know why Fen Ryerson died.
No,
they don't even report it correctly,
which I feel like we might find a little bit more in Onyx Storm.
I think
so we're gonna learn more about Xaden.
Oh, I think so too,
like a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. Which just shows how easily they mixed up the reporting for his grandfather also being Sigale's writer. I don't know.
It's all corrupt. Yeah. True. It's actually more corrupt than I think I originally thought it was. Ooh, this one's funny. Your next one.
Oh, I just love Imogen saying, good luck, Ryerson, and just everybody walking away. And I literally remember being like, oh my God, they're going to kill her.
Yeah, they're going to kill her.
But it's also just funny looking back at it now because she's like, ooh, how you going to get yourself out of this one? Yeah, she's like, I'll be over here. And I love how everyone's just like, well, we don't want to be a part of this.
Y'all, you got this, Xaden, I believe in you.
Okay, so Taryn kind of breaks my heart with this quote, but he says there's only one. Oh, well, Violet is very upset with him because he kept the secret, obviously. And he says there's only one bond more sacred than that of a dragon and its rider, and that is between a dragon and their mate. Because at this point, Violet thinks he's like the enemy and he's super evil. But it makes me so sad because in Iron Flame, we find out that Sigale was keeping Xaden's secret so he could stay alive, and she kept it from Taryn and like broke the most sacred bond. We don't give Sigale enough credit. First of all, she has to deal with Xaden 24/7.
Yeah.
Poor girl is working overtime.
She's working overtime. No, that is really fucking sad.
It's really sad. And like, imagine how mad Taryn is. And like, I don't know.
For years.
Yeah.
That's like, and oh my God, I just can only imagine like Taryn sympathizing with Violet in that way.
Yeah.
At that part in Iron Flame. So once we get there, I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that one breaks my heart.
It's just so sad. I just had to bring it up.
I love Sigale though. Like, I don't think anything wrong with.
No, I love Sigale.
Yeah.
My next line is like a 180. I just think Violet's fucking crazy in this moment.
She is crazy.
And like Xaden tries to touch her and she goes, if you even think about touching me, I swear I'll fucking kill you. It's like, dude, chill. I get it though. She thinks she's about to die.
I get it.
But I'm like, Violet, literally chill.
I saw a TikTok about this funny part. And okay, you're gonna have to dig deep. You know, in Zootopia.
Is it what you sent me?
I did send it to you.
No, that was good.
Okay, so if you haven't seen, there's a TikTok out there about this part, and it's like, oh, when Xaden tells Violet all this stuff, and she's like hating him and telling her to get away from her, and it's the part in Zootopia where Nick Wilde and that little tiny little
fox or whatever
that little animal was, and he like isn't a baby, it's like a full grown ass animal.
Yeah.
And they're like, no kisses for daddy. And the fucking animal goes like, spits out the binky and he's like, you make me say daddy. Like, you kiss me one more, you kiss me tomorrow and you're dead. Or like, I'm gonna kill you or some shit like that. And it cracks me up because really Xaden would be like, no kisses for daddy.
No kisses for zaddy.
Whoever made that TikTok, I love you. That was good. So good.
I do love, like, I think I say it, but like, I'm like, my heart hurts that Xaden is trying to like make jokes with her and stuff, and she's just like, fuck off, Xaden.
No,
like,
I know.
Literally, get over yourself, Violet.
No, I know, but like, she is so scared.
She's so, yeah. Well, this is after he tells her everything.
Yeah. He's
like trying to joke with her, and she's so pissed off. I'm like, girl, do you realize that everyone's life is in jeopardy?
Yeah, it's true. Well, this is the part too where she's just like, I believe you, but I just don't trust you.
Yeah.
So she just needs to get over it. This whole trust thing.
I know. I also love Xaden saying, I know what you're thinking. And she goes, you have no idea what I'm thinking. Girl, yes, he does.
He does. He actually hears it.
He actually does.
He actually does. But he's not even just guessing. He actually knows.
And I also would just like to point out that if I was Violet in this scenario, I would have understood the second I found out that venin were real, and I would have forgiven him and then probably made out with him again. So
in an anger way.
Yeah, I would have been passionate. I need her to get over it. It's just so ridiculous that she's so mad, and it's like, this literally could kill you. And he's literally like, we could jeopardize everything if your best friend finds out this information. She's like, well, I'm pissed off. Why'd you choose to keep it from me?
No, she's mad until like halfway into Iron.
Until
from this
he
point
turns venin, pretty much.
Literally all until
she's
now,
mad.
until the end of next book.
I literally hate her.
She pisses me off.
I just feel like, girl, and especially in Iron Flame, and like obviously when we get there we'll talk about it more, but for her to be so mad and then keep the secret, immediately tell her friends, which is like, that's why Xaden didn't tell you shit.
Yeah.
And then her friends are like, yeah, we understand why you would keep that a secret. And she's like, oh, so no one else, just me? She's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have overreacted.
I don't know, but I remember reading it and not being so annoyed with it.
Yeah, I wasn't as annoyed the first time.
But now knowing, I don't want to justify her and say I understand where she's coming from, but I also will say the reasonings why, realistically, I would probably also feel mistrusted, and but I don't know if I would act this dramatic about it.
Yeah, I just think she's a little
pretty dramatic.
And she's like, you've lied to me. This whole relationship was built on a lie.
Yeah,
like,
no.
He was actually trying to protect all of mankind.
Yeah.
But okay.
I don't know. She has been done wrong in her life. I get it, but.
Yeah. And I also just feel like Xaden saying after all of that and her being so mad at him, he still is like, I don't blame you. And like, this is not your fault.
That's so sweet though.
Over it. All right.
I think that was.
Do you have
wait. I think I have one more, but I don't know if this fits. Okay, hold on. This actually is something I just want to bring up. Liam, his signet was farsighted, right? He can see into the future.
No, he can see like 20 miles away.
Okay, yes. Was he able to? He was able to see the Griffin Riders, right?
Yes.
That was like confirmed?
I believe that's what he sees at the end of 35.
Okay. Just needed to clarify that because I have a theory with Liam.
Okay. Should we go into any of our favorite quotes that we did not mention?
I have two tiny ones.
I have 4.
Beautiful. Go ahead with chapter 31.
Okay. So I just breaks my heart, Liam, every single time. I just love it. Says, I go where you go. His hand tightens over mine. I could cry. I love Liam so much.
Mine's a little crazy. Chapter 32. It's just hitting me at a sublime angle. I'm not going to explain what part of that it is, but isn't sublime a funny way of explaining something like that?
Yeah, it's accurate though, I guess. What? That's what sublime means.
You're like, that's not a regular word to use.
You guys don't say that?
It just reminds me of Barbie when he's like, sublime.
Yeah.
Thought it was funny.
That's what that word means. Like,
you're right.
So I don't know.
Just silly.
Okay, I have from Xaden chapter 32 when he says, even when I'm not with you, there's only you. I could cry.
Or you can do the next one too.
Oh, okay. This was kind of crazy. Also from chapter 32. I just had to include it. We all know the line. Violet says, oh gods, because they have multiple. He says, which one are you calling out for? Because it's just you and me in this room, Vi, and I don't share. And then she says, you. He says, I appreciate the elevation to deity, but my name will do. Hot.
He said, say my name, say my name.
When no one is around you.
My last one is, I just had 2 quotes because I think if I were to have given more, it would have been the entire chapters. But it is, I think, from Xaden. Or is it from Xaden? I believe it is. Where he's like, wanting you will be the death of me.
He says that so many times.
Saying that?
It's foreshadowing something, unfortunately, I think.
Is it
I don't know if it's
the death of his realness? And then,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the death of him, if it's him being a venin. I don't know. It stresses me out, though.
Getting stressed out. Okay,
and then my last one is Xaden, chapter 34, saying, I'm going to keep you, you're mine, Violet. Fucking swoon. I love that. Again, I don't think I would like it if a real guy said that to me.
Your mind is like...
But in a book, I'm like, that's hot.
so hot.
Yeah.
That's too hot. I think that was all for the quotes.
Yeah, let's hear your theory, Cassie.
My theory I want to bring up, I've seen this on TikTok as well. I know I'm not the only one who's thought this. It kind of ties into a little bit more of the end of this book, so maybe next episode we can get a little bit more into it, but I just want to bring it up for the room. Can marked ones share each other's signet?
Oh.
So
I understand, because of the ice.
Yes, because of the ice.
Okay.
So that's why I don't want to get into it just yet,
Yeah.
but I do want to say most of the marked ones have 2 signets.
Well, I don't know.
Most of them, not all of them.
How do you know?
Okay. The theory that was come across was that either they have 2 or they can all share, or they can take from other
I know
marked
that
ones.
some people were questioning, do all marked ones have 2 signets because of Xaden and because of this thing with Liam, how he shoots ice when that is not his signet. But I thought that Xaden's is because he is a direct descendant, or he's a direct descendant from Sigil's previous writer, which would, in Iron Flame, they say either give you 2 signets or make you go mad.
Right. So I just want to dive a little bit more deep into signets and how they work. And also I think that with the marked ones, they obviously have like a connected relic. They all are connected in some way. What are other things that are connected? Signets. Signets are connections of power.
Okay.
So that's where I'm just thinking that they can either take from, because like, not to get too much into like Iron Flame, but Violet takes, because we're trying to figure out her second signet.
Right.
A lot of what I remember thinking is that she's like a siphon.
Yeah, or an amplifier.
Or an amplifier. Yeah. So is it of the same rules for marked ones, to where whatever you need in that moment, you take a signet from another marked one?
Interesting.
I don't know. I've seen it on TikTok, but I thought it's a pretty interesting theory.
I like that.
But I think I think it'll help a little bit more in Iron Flame to claim more about this, but I just want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Let's
move into
some final jam.
All right. First song that we have,
Skin and
Bones by David Kushner. And I personally picture this when they're in Xaden's room, going for 5 rounds.
Going for 5.
This song was like made for them. So listen to it if you haven't.
It just repeats.
Your skin and bones. You're electrical.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'll lose control. I think he read the book and wrote the song off of them, honestly. If you want to listen to our Fourth Wing podcast. I mean, oh my God, why do I always do that? Yeah. Our Fourth Wing playlist. We'll have it in our link tree.
Have it there. The 2 that I put on there are from Hosier.
We love Hosier.
I love you, Hosier. So the first one I have is Angel of Small Death and the Codine,
I think.
Codine?
I don't know. I actually didn't see how it.
Codine.
Sure.
Codine scene. Hosier is like notorious for talking about his lover in such a high manner. This one's very soft and it's very subtle, this song. It's from like the most popular album that he's had. I think it's very cute, and I also envision it during their smut scene, but in the more romantic way. And then the last one I have is Empire Now, and I don't want to be wrong with this, so I'm going to look at it real quick. I think that yes, so this is the most recent album that he's come out with. Empire Now, it gives me a lot of the very end, because it's a little bit more about like the war that we're both creating within, and the way I interpret it, it's just like, me and you are both at this war. We're both in the same place, and I'm like, yeah, see, that's good to remember, Violet. You're both in this same like situation, buddy. Anyways, I got a little aggressive towards the end, sorry. But yeah.
Give them a listen.
Woo! Nice job, you guys. We did close that out.
Yes.
We closed out episode 5.
Yeah. We got one more episode of Fourth Wing coming at you next week. And then after that, we're gonna have a little bit of a bonus episode, and in that we will be letting you guys know what our schedule is gonna look like for Iron Flame.
Yep.
So
we hope you guys enjoyed, because we know we did.
Yes. Thanks so much for watching or listening.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, subscribe,
rate us on all
socials.
We
Literally
are
Obsessed
still getting our Patreon all set up, so we'll let you guys know more about that, but
it'll be coming soon.
Yeah. But we love you guys. Thank you, besties, for joining in. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.